Summer fades with winter returning, leaves all piling, wind howling o'er. Fast growing nights, the cold creeping under. Well, these smouldering embers may warm us once more. Viewing the high hills, the cairns buried under, drove of sheep wander, the steep paths thread on. The witch queen lies waiting by the alt remaining, the bones of her country we've all gnawed upon. Fondlum inish, fondlum go jo, fondlum go ruin, is na himium. Fondlum o have, our runes restored, belong go ruin, is na himium. The magpie watches, its head turned towards me, its black eye beaded to stare how it burns. Out fly the line o'er the lapping water. Well, he'd give no quarter if the tail was turned. I'm not a child, my youth long departed, and I long for the light of that far western shore. My crooked hand, as the land I was reared in, raised and piled under, frail and forlorn.
You can find out the text that actually watch the show from home. They won't have nearly as much fun as you have. Unless you'll get an opportunity. Once again, thank you very much for coming out this evening and being with us. We're trying our best to make it as safe as possible. Hopefully we'll get to the other side of this whole thing.
Until we win.
Want to go find John. John, you win. All right. I guess the vast majority of you actually know who this gentleman is. And I don't have a lot of history on him other than he was one of the founding members of Solas. The last time that I saw him play was with James Taylor at the World Fest, back when they were still having World Fest. Yes. He told me that they were going to come do a duo thing here at some point. I'm just kidding. I recommended that to him, and he didn't have much of a response to it. So, but you never know. Maybe we can do that. My you never know, right? You never know. All right, guys, y'all ready for a little bit of live music? Yes. All right, there. Put your hands together. Please make welcome John Doyle.
Hello. A live gig. Whoa. Weird. Okay.
Come all your lads of fiery night that would hear of a fair young maiden, and she rode out of a summer's day for to view the soldiers parading.
Dublin city in 1913. The boss was rich and the poor were slaves. The women working, the children starving. Then on came Larkin like a mighty wave. The workers cringed when the boss man thundered. 70 hours was their weekly chore. When asked for little, then less was granted. Less given little, then they'd ask for more. In the month of August, the boss man told us no union man for him could work. We stood by Larkin, who told the boss man we'd fight or die, but we wouldn't shirk. 8 months we fought and 8 months we starved. We fought with Larkin through thick and thin, but foodless homes and the crying of children that broke our hearts, we just couldn't win. Then Larkin left us, we seemed defeated. The night was black for the working man. Then up spoke Connolly with new hope and counsel. His motto was, we will rise again. In Dublin city in 1916, the English soldiers, they burnt our town. And they shelled our buildings and shot our leaders. The harp was buried 'neath the bloody crown. They shot McDermott and Pearson Plunkett. They shot McDonough and Clark the Brave. From Bleak Kilmainham they took Cant's body to Arbor Hill and the Quicklime grave. But last of all of the 7 heroes, I sing the praises of James Connolly. He fought for freedom, he fought for justice, and he gave his life so men might be free. All right. What need you being come to sense and fumble in a greasy till, and add the halfpence to the pence and prayer to shivering prayer until you have dried the marrow from the bone. Men were born to pray and save. Romantic Ireland's dead and gone, its widow Leary in the grave. They were of a different kind, the men that spurned your childish play. They have gone about the world like wind, but little time had they to pray. For whom the hangman's rope was spun, what God help us could they save? Romantic Ireland's dead and gone, its widow Leary in the grave. Was it for this the wild geese spread the grey wing upon every tide? For this that all that blood was shed, for this Edward Fitzgerald died, and Robert Emmet and Wolfe Tone, all that delirium of the brave. Romantic Ireland's dead and gone, its widow Leary in the grave. But should we turn the years again and call those exiles as they were? In all their loneliness and pain, you'd cry some woman's yellow hair had maddened every mother's son. They weighed so lightly what they gave, but let them be, they're dead and gone, they're with O'Leary in the grave. But let them be, they're dead and gone, they're with O'Leary in the grave. Well, hello and good evening to you all. How are you doing? It's fantastic to see you here. This is quite unusual. It feels very strange to be doing a live gig, I have to say. I'm a little bit nervous. But how's your years been? Well, I started out with a great song called The 1913 Lockout, or The Ballad of Jim Larkin. And it's one of those great songs. It's a union song. Jim Larkin was a union organizer who, and he was from Liverpool, but with Irish blood. His parents were both from Ireland. And he went to Ireland to help with the labor disputes there. And it didn't work out well. He couldn't get traction, I suppose you would call it. But and then there was a huge lockout, which a number of people died of starvation in Ireland in 1913. But anyway, it indirectly led to the 1916 Civil War in Ireland because of the poor working conditions. If you can imagine, like in 1 Georgian Street in Dublin, there's about 12 houses on it, and in the 12 houses, over 916 people lived. That was in one of the censuses. So you can imagine the poverty, the amount of people, and they were working 16-hour days, and no pay, like very little pay, and of course no healthcare or anything like that. So anyway, and then James Connolly came in after Larkin, and then that started the 1916 rebellion, which comes a little bit toward that next song, which is one of those great W.B. Yeats poems. It's called September 1913, is that second song, and I was actually honored to be on one of an album that's coming out soon of Yeats' poetry, and it's myself and a bunch of other musicians that kind of sang these songs. And that one is an interesting thing as well. O'Leary was a Fenian. He was in the 1860s. He was caught and tried for disturbing the peace, pretty much, and was sent to 20 years penal servitude. And he couldn't come back to Ireland, but instead he lived in America. He lived in the northeast of America, up in I think it was in Rhode Island somewhere. And then after 20 years, he came back, and he was a great friend of W.B. Yeats's. And he was a mentor to Yeats and loaned him a lot of books and things like that. So that song is basically about, if in 1913, which was the year of the lockout, people wouldn't have recognized the hero if they saw him coming. And so he was lamenting all these great men who had died for the sake of freedom. And at that time in 1913, no one would ever have thought that 3 years down the line, people would have rose up against the Imperial. I was going to say the Imperial Stormtroopers. I'm watching too much of Star Wars, but who wouldn't know, like how it would have gone, So anyway, happy Christmas, everybody. This is another related song, actually, funnily enough. I'm just thinking of these songs as I go, but cocktail, anybody? This one is written by another playwright and poet from Ireland, George Bernard Shaw. And
I didn't know this until after I learned it. And I learned it from Tommy Makem, one of the great singer from the Clancys and Tommy Makem. And he did an album, a whole album of the 50th anniversary of the 1916 Rising. And when it came time for the 2016, the 100 years, the centenary, I was looking for songs, as everyone else was, about the 1916 Rising, and I came upon this one, which is like, it's about kind of like the First World War and Ireland and England's kind of state in it at the time, you know. So here we go. Let's see if I remember. Old Ireland, I'm surprised at you, says the grand old Dame Britannia. And poor little Belgium, tried and true, says the grand old Dame Britannia. Oh, shut your ears to the Sinn Féin lies, you know every Gael for England dies. And we'll have home rule, need to clear blue skies, says the grand old Dame Britannia. Now Johnny Redmond, he's a boy, says the grand old Dame Britannia. He's Ireland's pride, but England's joy, says the grand old Dame Britannia. Our rebels through the country stop, shouting 67 and the bachelors a walk. Have you ever heard such foolish talk, says the grand old Dame Britannia. Well, I met today with Inspector Quinn, says the grand old Dame Britannia. Well, he told me straight we were sure to win, says the grand old Dame Britannia. Oh, what's the news? The newsboy yells. What's the news? The paper tells. A British retreat from the Dardanelles, says the grand old Dame Britannia. Two from me, says the grand old Dame Britannia. For your Al Hibernian Academy, says the grand old Dame Britannia. Well, you know we have the hunt to quell. We'll need more money for shot and shell. So your artists, they can go to hell, says the grand old Dame Britannia. Ah, scholars, hurlers, saints and bards, says the grand old Dame Britannia. Come along and join the Irish Guards, says the grand old Dame Britannia. Every man that steps on the German's feet, they'll get a parcel tied up neat, a home rule badge and a winding sheet, says the grand old Dame Britannia. Sorry? Oh, is someone talking to me, or is it okay, or just chatting? Okay. So for my sins, I got this 12-string. For my tuning sins. But this is it's actually a great instrument. There's a guy called Kevin Meaderman from North Dakota that's kind of all these instruments are Kevin's, and but I asked him to do a 12-string with unison strings, just to be difficult, and so he did it for me. So it's kind of like a huge bouzouki, I suppose you would call it. So I'm doing a few songs that I don't really know. Is that okay? I'm kind of half blind as well, so I don't know if I'll see it. But this is a song that I during lockdown, I suppose we were all trying to figure out what we were going to do as musicians, so we were doing videos and we were learning stuff and we were baking, and, whatever we could, tearing our hair out. And for the last 30 years more, since I was 16, so 34 years, I've been on the road. So it was kind of an interesting thing for the first time ever to be not traveling. And so it took a while, an adjustment, but it kind of ended up being quite fun, kind of learning new things, But part of them was going through the archives again, and there's huge, great resources online for learning songs. And there's a few of them that I've learned. So this one is General Owen Roe, and Owen Roe is Owen Roe O'Neill, who was one of the great resistance fighters. Well, he was a lord, and lord of the O'Neill clan. And the O'Neill clan they've been around pre-Christian times, so they're a very old family. But during the time of the 1600s, they were the most powerful, the O'Neills and the O'Donnells up in the north. And General Owen Roe was the major general for all of the united armies of Ireland against the English around 1641 to 1649. And so this is a song about him. My name is Maguire and my age is 19. Many's a fine scrimmage and battle I've seen. Many's a final battle, sure I did undergo, commanded by the hero called General Owen Roe. Now Owen Roe, being tired for the want of sleep, gave the lady 5 guineas, a secret to keep. When she saw the money, it did tempt her so. She soon brought the cavalry and surrounded Owen Roe. When Owen Roe saw them coming, well, he flew into the hall. He tried to escape, but could not at all. Surrounding him, they marched him in cold and in snow. Undaunted, 3 cheers cried our hero Owen Roe. Here's a hell to my wife and my children 3. My lands and my living I leave all to thee. My bridle and saddle to my son I bestow. May he ride with the pride of his father Owen Roe. Then up rode his sister, she was all dressed in green. A sword by her side, it was pointed and keen. She gave 3 cheers, and away she did go. I'll have my revenge for my brother Owen Roe. Here's a hell to Tyrone, and long may she reign. Together we fought all in our domain. We fought them for hours, met them to and fro, commanded by the hero called General Owen Roe. Commanded by the hero called General Owen Roe. Well, I'll do a couple of tunes I wrote during the lockdown as well. This is one called Alone Together. I'd done a first live thing on the live gig online, you know. And I had just played this, and I just asked the people, was there anyone that could come up with a name? And a woman came up with that name. So I don't know who it was, but I thought it was nice. So. I'm getting hungry. I'm thirsty. Okay. Get relaxed here. Scott Woody was telling me that I was getting paid by the note, so I figured, what the hell? Well, I'll attempt a Christmas song here. This is a song called "The Bushes of Jerusalem" that a man called Tommy Sands wrote. And Tommy Sands is he was a great man for peace up in the north. He talked, he was like an advocate for both sides, the Unionist and the Catholic sides, and would go back and forth and try and create some sort of conversation, musical and otherwise. And but he wrote this song based on the idea that Jesus was a rebel for peace, and kind of tells his story through those eyes. Listen, gentle Christians, Jew and Gentile too, and all denominations, and a song I'll sing to you. It's all about a young man and a rebel through and through, down among the bushes of Jerusalem. Jerusalem, down among the bushes of Jerusalem. Well born of honest parents, and below a shining star, the word went round the country, and they came from near and far. The royal family worried that he'd undermine their power, down among the bushes of Jerusalem. So they murdered all the children, every one that they could find, so that they'd be certain that they'd kill that rebel child. But somehow he deceived them all, the soldiers fierce and wild, down among the bushes of Jerusalem. Jerusalem, down among the bushes of Jerusalem. Well, he turned into a strapping lad and helped around the home, but voices they were calling, and he was inclined to roam. The losers and the boozers he would count amongst his own, down among the bushes of Jerusalem. As far as I can see, you see, the Pharisee did say, you know your Bible very well, and you'll make a priest someday, but you better toe the line, me boys, or there'll be hell to pay, down among the bushes of Jerusalem. Jerusalem, down among the bushes of Jerusalem. Girl was she. Oh, look who's coming now, boys, a girl of no degree. Well, I'd rather have her near me than your hypocrisy, down among the bushes of Jerusalem. And he went into the churches, and he saw the shining gold, and the people, they were starving with the hunger and the cold. And he talked about injustice, just be careful, he was told, down among the bushes of Jerusalem. Jerusalem, down among rebel, Judas he did say, come burn the Roman Empire down, we'll change that flag today. It's the human heart needs changing, this young rebel he did say, down among the bushes of Jerusalem. Well, they murdered him on Calvary, it's easier you see, than trying to turn the other cheek and love your enemy. 'Cause you're safer in your own tribe with your scribes and Pharisees, down among the bushes of Jerusalem. Jerusalem, down among the bushes of Jerusalem. Jerusalem, down among the bushes of Jerusalem. Jerusalem, down among the bushes of Jerusalem. Thank you. This is an old song. This is a very old song. I'm not sure, like, I don't even know where I got this from, you know. I remember, I don't even remember learning it, and but it's an old traditional song called Carew Carew, which is kind of a song of the King of the Birds. It's kind of a version of that, and I probably got it in a book. I don't know it either. That's it. I missed the runway there. Many's a bird did wake and fly. Carew, carew, carew. Full many's a bird did wake and fly to the manger with a wandering cry on Christmas Day in the morning. Carew, carew. Carew, carew, on Christmas Day in the morning. Well, the owl was there with eyes so bright. Carew, carew, carew. The owl was there with eyes so bright, and he did sing at sweet Mary's side on Christmas Day in the morning. Carew, 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 on Christmas Day in the morning. The lark, the dove, the red bird came. Carew, carew, carew. The lark, the dove, the red bird came, and they did sing out sweet Jesus' name on Christmas Day in the morning. Carew, 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 on Christmas Day in the morning. The shepherds, they knelt upon the hay. Carew, carew, carew. Oh, the shepherds, they knelt upon the hay, and they did sing the night away on Christmas Day in the morning. Caroo, 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 on Christmas Day in the morning. Full many's a bird did wake and fly. Caroo, caroo, caroo. Full many's a bird did wake and fly to the manger with a wandering cry on Christmas Day in the morning. Okay, now for a murder ballad. Yeah. Well, this is a great. I'll do a few seafaring songs here, and this is a great one. This is one about Willie Taylor, and Willie Taylor was press ganged. He was basically bopped on the head, and the next thing you know, he's a sailor, and he leaves his loved one behind. But the loved one doesn't want to be left behind, so she dresses like a sailor, dresses like a man, and goes after him. And after many adventures at sea, she eventually finds him, but in the arms of another woman. So she does the only natural thing and shoots them both through the head. Thank you very much. But there's a lovely, happy little melody, and a little chorus goes dally dilly dum diddly dum 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 dally dilly dum diddly dum day dally dilly dum diddly dum 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 dally dilly dum diddly dum day. It'll help you digest. Save the scraps for me there, will you? Taylor and his youthful lover, full of mirth and loyalty. They were going to the church to be married. He was pressed and sent on sea. Daddy dilly dum diddly dum 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 daddy dilly dum diddly dum day. She dressed herself up like a sailor. On her breast she wore a star. Her lovely fingers, long and slender, she gave them all a smear of tar. Daddy dilly dum diddly dum 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 daddy dilly dum diddly dum day. On the ship there being a skirmish, she'd been one amongst the rest. A silver button flew off her jacket, there appeared her snow white breast. Daddy dilly dum diddly dum 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 daddy dilly dum diddly dum day. Says the captain to this fair maid, what misfortune has took you here? Oh, I'm in search of my true lover, whom you pressed on the other year. Daddy dilly dum diddly dum 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 daddy dilly dum diddly dum day. If you're in search of your true lover, pray come tell to me his name. Oh, William Taylor they do call him, but Fitzgerald is his name. Daddy dilly dum diddly dum 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 daddy dilly dum diddly dum day. You get up tomorrow morning, early as the break of day. Well, there you'll spy your Willie Taylor walking along with his lady gay. Daddy dilly dum diddly dum 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 daddy dilly dum diddly dum dum day. Up the very next morning, early as the break of day, and there she spied her Willie Taylor walking along with his lady gay. Daddy dilly dum diddly dum 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 daddy dilly dum diddly dum day. She drew out a brace of pistols that she had at her command. And there she shot her Willie Taylor and his bride at his right hand. Daddy-diddy-dum, diddly-dum-dum-dum-dum, daddy-diddy-dum-dum-dum day. This is the happy part. And when the captain came to hear it, of the deed that she had done, well, he made her a ship's commander over a vessel for the Isle of Man. Daddy-diddy-dum, diddly-dum-dum-dum-dum, daddy-diddy-dum, diddly-dum-dum day. Daddy-diddy-dum, diddly-dum-dum-dum-dum, daddy-diddy-dum, diddly-dum-dum day. Daddy-diddy-dum, diddly-dum-dum-dum-dum, daddy-diddy-dum, diddly-dum-dum day. Oh, yeah. Oh, that'll be interesting to try and read that one. Okay. Everyone doing okay so far? Yeah. Okay, good. If you hadn't guessed, I'm kind of going right through. So doing one set. Because there's a curfew now, so. This is a song I have just learned, and I've known it for a long time, but I've never learned it, if you know what I mean. And I first heard this with an old Fairport Convention album, and it's a great sea song. In fact, that's not true. I first heard it on a Martin Carty album, an early one of Carty and Swarbrick's. If you don't know about them, you should go and listen to them. They're just great English folk music. And this comes from the English folk tradition. But there's a lot of transplants between Ireland and England and Scotland, especially up in the north of Ireland. There's a huge tradition of singing in the north of Ireland, mainly because like Irish traditional song from the Republic and also from Scotland and also from England kind of combined in the north of Ireland. So every place name and every townland in the north of Ireland seems to have a song associated with it. And but this isn't one of them. I digressed. Come all you brisk young men, and a warning take by me. Never let your single life astray or shun bad company, as I myself have done, it being in the month of May, where I was pressed by a sea captain, a pirating to trade. To the East Indies we were bound, to plunder the raging main, and many's a fine and a gallant ship we sent to a watery grave. For Freeport we didn't steer, our provisions to renew, where we did spy a British man of war sailing 3 leagues to our two. Oh, she fired across our bow, heave to and don't refuse. Surrender now your lives and belong, or else your lives will lose. And our decks they were sputtered in blood, and the cannons did loudly roar. And broadside to broadside a long time we lay, till we could fight no more. And 1,000 times I'd wished myself alone, all alone with my Polly on the shore. She's a tall and a slender girl with a dark and a rolling eye. And here am I, a bleeding on the deck, and for her sweet sake I would die. Farewell to my family and friends, and my pretty Polly too. I'd never have crossed the salt sea so wide if I'd have been ruled by you. And 1,000 times I saw myself again, all alone with my Polly on the shore. I'll do this for my daughter out there, Rossa. And I wrote this when she was 2, but she's 16 now. And I wanted to embarrass her as much as I can. I was going to ask her to stand up. But she's not going to do that. Hey! But when she was like 2 years old, she had this lovely thing of making presents for people, getting 2 peas and little stones and things like that, and getting crepe paper and bow ties and kind of wrapping them up and giving them as presents, and doing that 10,000 times a day. And it was just lovely, you know. And so I kind of wrote a song about it at the time. So. Little sparrow comes to me when daylight first draws near. She curls up tightly, safe beside me, sleeping without fear. Then she wakes, smiles and laughs and whispers in my ear, singing softly to me, little sparrow, singing softly to me, little sparrow, singing softly to me. Little sparrow brings me gifts sealed tight and fine, and wraps them in the finest cloth, and motions they are mine. Jewels of glass, pennies and brass, aged and rusted by time. Oh, come bringing gifts to me, little sparrow, come bringing gifts to me, little sparrow, come bringing gifts to me. Come flying back to me when sunlight fades and days grow old, and I'll wrap you in silken scarves and keep you from the cold. This blessed treasure without measure in my arms I'll hold. Oh, come flying back to me, little sparrow, come flying back to me, little little sparrow, come flying back to me. Singing bird, my precious bird, child of star and moon, fold your wings around me and heal me of my wounds. Release us from our sorrow, rejoice and come home soon. Oh, come safely home to me, little sparrow, little sparrow. Come safely home to me, little sparrow, little sparrow. Come safely home to me. Oh, little sparrow comes to me when daylight first draws near. She curls up tightly, safe beside me, sleeping without fear. Oh, then she wakes, smiles and laughs, whispers in my ear, singing softly to me, little sparrow, little sparrow. Singing softly to me, little sparrow, little sparrow. Singing softly to me, singing softly to me, little sparrow, little sparrow. Singing softly to me, little sparrow, little sparrow. Singing softly to me. How about a few winter songs? Yeah? Oh, wow. That's a scary winter song. Yes, I could do that maybe. I'll try and intersperse these because they're all quite slow, but this one is one of my favorite ones. Another one I hadn't learned, I kind of learned through osmosis in a way. I kind of know most of it. There's a great singer from Scotland called Dick Gahan. I suppose, do you know of Dick Gahan at all? One of my heroes, and he recorded this on an album. I can't remember what album it is, but Westland Winds maybe. But I think it's one of his finest. And this is a traditional song. People might have heard it before. Who did it? Like loads of people did it anyway. But I remember it always first from Dick Gahan, who got it from Archie Fisher. So. Snows they melt the soonest when the wind begins to sing. The corn it ripens fastest when the frosts are settling in. And when a young man tells me that my face he'll soon forget, before we'll part I'll wage a crown, he's fain to follow it yet. The snows they melt the soonest when the wind begins to sing. The swallow flies without a thought as long as it is spring. And when spring goes and winter flows, my love, then you'll be free. But all your pride to follow me across the raging sea. when the wind begins to sing. The bee that flew when the summer shone in winter cannot sting. And I've seen a woman's anger melt between the night and the morn, but it's surely not a harder thing to melt a woman's scorn. So don't you bid me farewell, you hear, nor farewell I receive. For you will lie with me, my love, then you kiss and take your leave. And I'll wait here till the moorcock calls and the martin takes the wing. For the snows, they melt the soonest when the wind begins to sing. Cha-ching, cha-ching. Winter comes. Let's see, try this one. It's another winter song. Oh, I forgot to say, I have a new album. It just came out this year. So, but it came out just as the virus started to happen, so I didn't have a chance to tour it at all. So it kind of came and went, but it's still there. So it's just it's going to be a new album next year. So, but I have some copies for sale if you would like it. So it's there somewhere. So maybe afterwards I can meet you all at a distance, you know. But this is from an earlier album with myself and Karan Casey. We did an album called The Exile's Return, and this is the song, the title song from that album. If you don't know Karan Casey is a great singer that was in a band called Solas with me many years ago. Winter comes and all is silent. The saddled mare is tightly bound. The fox she prowls under the moonlight as snow lies thickly on the ground. And though we bid farewell in sorrow, we may meet again in distant lands and drink a health to kin and comrades, for the exile will return again. The heart is hard to leave this long night as we face a long and a treacherous road, but hard times must be faced undaunted, and our loved ones lighten up our load. And though we bid farewell in sorrow, we may meet again in distant lands and drink a health to kin and comrades, for the exile will return again. The distant cairn on Knocknarea stands, bare and bleached o'er Queen Maeve's tomb. O'Hara's castle stands undaunted, waiting for her lands to bloom. And though we bid farewell in sorrow, we may meet again in distant lands and drink a health to kin and comrades, for the exile will return again. While the night is cold, the children are sleeping, those restful dreams of Tiernan Oak, and the Jenny Johnsons bound for sailing. And now, my friends, it's time to go. And though we bid farewell in sorrow, we may meet again in distant lands and drink a health to kin and comrades, for the exile will return again. And though we bid farewell in sorrow, we may meet again in distant lands, and drink a health to kin and comrades, for the exile will return again, for the exile will return again. I'll try this one. I haven't done this in a long. In fact, I don't think I've done this particular song the month of January for 15 years. So we'll see if I know any of it. Good luck to me. Thank you very much. And, this is all Christmas, Christmassy, wintry themed. Surely isn't a happy song though, but a great song. I recorded this on an album called Wayward Son with one of the great, a legendary singer called Linda Thompson, one of my favorite singers ever, and I was so delighted that she would do it. But we became very close friends after that, and I meet her every time I'm in England, and but she's really fun. So if you know Richard Thompson, she used to be married to Richard Thompson, and they used to have a duet together. So. Yeah. 'Twas in the month of January, the hills all frost and snow, when over hills and valleys my true love she did go. She spied a maid upon the way, with the salt tear in her eye, but she held the baby in her arms, and bitterly she didn't cry, saying cruel was my father, who barred the door on me, and cruel was my mother, that dreadful sight to see, and cruel was my own true love, who changed his heart for gold, and cruel were the wintry winds that pierced my heart with cold. pine tree grows, the sweeter is the bark, and the fairer that the young man speaks, the falser is his heart. For he'll kiss you and embrace you till he thinks he has you won, and he'll go away and leave you all for some other one. So come all you pretty fair young maids, a warning take by me, and never try to build your nest on the top of any tall tree, for the green leaves they will wither, and the branches soon decay, and the blushes of a false young man will all soon fade away. All right. Okay, we got to brighten that up a little bit with another murder ballad. No, we'll do a little Christmas song. How about the holly and the berry? Oh, the holly, she bears a berry as white as the milk, and Mary, she bore Jesus all wrapped up in silk, and Mary, she bore Jesus, our Saviour, for to be. And the first tree that's in the green wood, well, it was the holly. Holly, holly. And the first tree that's in the green wood, it was the holly. Now the holly, she bears a berry as green as the grass, and Mary, she bore Jesus, who died on the cross, and Mary, she bore Jesus, our Saviour, for to be. And the first tree that's in the green wood, it was the holly. Oh, holly, holly. And the first tree that's in the green wood, it was the holly. Now the holly, she bears a berry as black as the sloe, and Mary, she bore Jesus, who died for us all, and Mary, she bore Jesus, our Saviour, for to be. And the first tree that's in the green wood, it was the holly. Oh, a holly, holly. And the first tree that's in the green wood, it was the holly. And a holly, she bears a berry as blood it is red, and we trust in our Saviour, who rose from the dead. We trust in Lord Jesus, our Saviour, for to be. And the first tree that's in the green wood, it was the holly. Oh, holly, holly. And the first tree that's in the green wood, it was was the holly, oh holly, holly. And the first tree that's in the greenwood, it was the holly. Lovely. Who will be the lady and who will be the lord when we are ruled by the love of one another? Who will be the lady and who will be the lord in the light that is coming in the morning? Sing John Ball and tell it to them all. Long live the day that is dawning, and I'll crow like a cock, I'll carol like a lark for the light that's coming in the morning. Eve will be the lady and Adam will the Lord when we are ruled by the love of one another. Eve will be the lady and Adam is the Lord in the light that's coming in the morning. Sing John Ball and tell it to them all. Long live the day that is dawning, and I'll crow like a cock, I'll carol like a lark for the light that's coming in the morning. All will be ruled by fellowship, I say. All will be ruled by the love of one another. All will be ruled by fellowship, I say, in the light that's coming in the morning. Sing John Ball and tell it to them all. Long live the day that is dawning, and I'll crow like a cock, I'll carol like a lark for the light that's coming in the morning. Weave and spin for fellowship, I say. Weave and spin for the love of one another. Weave and spin for fellowship, I say, in the light that's coming in the morning. Sing John Ball and tell it to them all. Long live the day that is dawning, and I'll crow like a cock, I'll carol like a lark for the light that's coming in the morning. Who will be the lady and who will be the lord when we are ruled by the love of one another? Who will be the lady and who will be the lord in the light that's coming in the morning? Sing John Ball and tell it to them all. Long live the day that is dawning, and I'll crow like a cock, I'll carol like a lark for the light that's coming in the morning. Sing John Ball and tell it to them all. Long live the day that is dawning, and I'll crow like a cock, I'll carol like a lark for the light that's coming in the morning. Okay, that was called John Ball, and John Ball was he was a priest actually in the 1300s, right at the time of the Black Death, the plague, and it was also the time of the peasants' revolt in England, and John Ball was one of the first people to really kind of start saying that everybody should be equal. There shouldn't be this class system, and there was a huge class system in England at the time. The knights, the king, all the lords and ladies, the knights, and then the serfs, the peasants. And he wanted everyone to have at least equal rights. And of course, he got hung, drawn, and quartered for it. It wasn't a movement that started to gain momentum for a long time. But the Magna Carta was signed, and at least there was some rights that they had. And after that, then it's been a series of successions, But there's still a House of Lords in England, And so there you go. There's a few songs, Christmas songs for you, kind of. I think it's about time to do my last number. What do you think? No? Oh, I think it is. Oh, you're too kind. Okay, I'll do two more. Is any requests? Paddy? Christmas. I don't know that one. Paddy Stones. Silky, okay, why not Silky? Another instrumental? Okay. Okay. It might have to be an instrumental then because my voice is going. I'm not used to doing this, so. Ah, great. Okay, this is a song about a dream that I had. And I was spat out of the belly of a whale, and when I landed into the sea, I became a silky, which is a half seal, half human. And I looked down, and I was actually a female silky. And I had a child with me, and so there was a storm coming. This is all in the dream. And I went to land, and it started to get nighttime. And I sheltered in the cave with the silky. We took off our silky skins and became human. And we hid our silky skins kind of somewhere. I can't remember where, but. And for the legend is that for silkies in the western part of Scotland, up in Iceland, northern parts of Ireland, that a silky is kind of half seal, half human. But when you take off your silky skin, you have to hide it, because if you don't and a human finds that skin, then you're indebted or indentured to that person for as long as they have it. So anyway, 3 days and 3 nights came, and we were sheltered there. And on the night of the third night, I woke up. And when I woke up, my child was gone, and I was frantic. I was searching for it everywhere, and I couldn't find her. But I saw a lighthouse beaming like this, and so I ran to it as quick as I could. And when I got to the center of the light, I found it was a lighthouse, and the lighthouse keeper's house was right there. And I looked into the lighthouse keeper's house, and I saw the lighthouse keeper and his wife and a crib or a cot, and my child was in the cot, and the silky skin was hanging on a hook right beside it. So then I took some more acid. I became a unicorn. Then, anyway, so here we go. Seaweed, kelp, and brine, deep water, dark and heaving sea. No memories, just deep breathing. No name, no shape, nor time. A dark regret enfolds the shape of mine. Till the tide turns, the sea calls out once more. Till the tide turns and the sea calls out once more. My child, I held you tightly, I nursed you and I sheltered you, safe from all harm and from danger. I watched you grow so quickly, deeply diving, swimming, gliding past those very rocks where our kin slumber. Till the tide turns, the sea calls out once more. Till the tide turns and the sea calls out once more. Well, a storm it raged for 3 days. We sheltered in the bay. Casting off our calls, we slept undaunted. When I awoke, I saw you. No answer came to me. Oh, I searched and searched while tears fell down unnumbered. A distant light was shining on Eday's lonely isle. Looking inside, oh, I saw you there asleeping on a bed of soft green ivy, and a couple brimming with pride, and your silky skin was hanging by your side. Till tide turns, the sea calls out once more. Till the tide turns and the sea calls out once more. Seaweed, kelp, and brine, deep water, dark and heaving sea. 7 years a changeling, 7 years of trials, to see you coming back to me, my child. And the tide turns, the sea calls out once more. Till the tide turns and the sea calls out once more. Thanks so much for coming out. I know it is it's a choice that we had to make to come out and do this, you know, and I know it's like it feels kind of dangerous at the times, and you know, but I really do appreciate that you did come out, and I appreciated that I came out. I've had a great time, so thanks so much. So have a very, very happy Christmas and or holidays or whatever you'd like to call it. And let's see. Thank you to our lovely sound man. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And Mark, right? And loads of people to thank for about this. Louise Baker and all the people here like helping you, and they seem to be really quiet. They know what they're doing, so it's great. So thank you. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm going to play a couple of tunes. Okay, so this is called Little Christmas. This tune, Little Christmas. Do you have Little Christmas here? Oh yeah. Okay, Little Christmas is women's Christmas, or women's Christmas in Ireland as well, and it's on the 6th of January, which is usually when you take down the tree in Ireland. So it's the end of the 12 days of Christmas. It was traditionally the one day, very sadly, the one day where women were able to put up their feet. You know, that was the one day. So. Thank you. All right. I forgot to mention one person, Scott Woody. Thanks so much for that, for putting us all on and taking a chance as well. You know, it's important. So. haven't planned this out very well. Can't remember. Well. I'll do a song about my great-grandfather. How about that to end? Okay, this is called the Arabic. And my great-grandfather came from Roscommon, County Roscommon. And in 1915, he was 22 years old when he decided to emigrate to America. And he went and he walked all the way from Roscommon right down to Queenstown. It's about like 150, 160 miles. And took the SS Arabic. It was a White Star Line ship. And they were about 80 kilometers offshore when U-24, a German U-boat in maneuvers, decided to attack and plugged 2 torpedoes in her and she went down. And my great-grandfather was one of the lucky survivors. He jumped into the sea as the blast happened. And as he was swimming there, like flailing around, a life raft crammed with people came to him. And he swam to it, obviously, and he tried to get on board, but they started beating him with oars to get him away from it, afraid that there would be too much to deal with, and they would all topple over. But luckily for him, a woman outstretched her hand and saved his life, hoisting him up off the life raft, onto the life raft, and saved him. And for you very optimistic Americans, he didn't marry her. And but he got back on shore, and he spent 3 months in an infirmary, and then walked all the way back up to Roscommon. And when he got to Roscommon and to his family, they were kind of shocked to see him because they thought he was dead. In fact, so much so that they had buried him already. They had the funeral and the whole works. So I thought that was a little bit unusual. But luckily, you know, he did survive, because without him, I wouldn't be around. So just being selfish about it, you know what I mean? But anyway, so this is the song about my great-grandfather. So thanks so much, and I appreciate you coming out. In stony grey soil, through hardship and toil, Roscommon's rough lands they own me. Digging potatoes and ploughing the earth, as my family did long before me. But I swore I would furrow, plant my own seed, and rise from my knees and stand proudly. America, I swore, or some foreign shore would grant me the life I dreamt of surely. So I saved up the money, my passage to pay, braved the road early one morning. I bid adieu to my family among grief and tears, as I feared that there was no returning. On a White Star Line I'd soon sail away, although the Great War was still raging. We marched a long way, to Queenstown made way, and the Arabic it loomed far above me. Who knows what fate brings, what life has in store? We peer through a looking glass dimly, as I stepped on board and steerage went toward, well, below decks a dread chill spread o'er me. At last we weighed anchor and ploughed o'er the main, the last hint of land dimming slowly. We zigzagged our course for fear of the worst, but the worst plied its course far below me. The scourge of the sea spied us, and soon they made ready. Torpedoes were loosed, our ship was reduced to a watery grave, sinking steadily. The lifeboats were cast, the men embarked last, but there was too few for so many. Oh, I jumped in the sea as a blast wounded me, and the blood ran thick and freely. While in fear and confusion, thrashing around, dreading the abyss fast approaching. While spying a life raft, I clung by its side, but they beat me with oars for encroaching. Still a lady on board took pity on me, as I took my last breath and was sinking. grabbing my arm to keep me from harm. She held me and saved me from drowning. We got back on the shore, safe and secure, and they led us all to the infirmary. 3 months I spent there, wondering why I was spared. Among all, why was I given mercy? Some live and some die, there's no reasons why. Those spinners weave their webs in mystery. But I'm back on my land, and fate lends a hand, and the roots of Ross come and weave around me. Thank you very much. Good night, everybody.
Thank you. Good night.